Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. In this video, we will be talking about overstayers in the UK and whether or not you can apply to return to the UK without any problems in the future. This is what this video is all about. So, we will be talking about reasons why your visa will be refused in the future, even if you meet the visa requirements. So you may have plans to join your partner in the UK, get job in the UK, join your partner as a dependent to come to the UK. So this is what we will be talking about. And this video is for you if you were an overstayer in the UK, you left the country and you plan to return to the UK. This video is for you also if you are an overstayer and you still continue to be an overstayer and you plan to continue to live in the UK and apply for a visa at some future. What to expect in this video. So we don't want to waste time. So you need to know what we will be discussing in this video and exactly what you are spending your time on. So straight to the point, we'll be discussing the reasons why your visa will be refused if you apply. Second is the re-entry bans for those who left the UK. Questions such as, am I banned to enter the UK for life? And how will I know if the ban has expired? We'll also discuss that. And finally, what to do if you have overstayed, tips to use on your application so that there is a great chance, there is more chance for you to get approved for your application. So let's get started. So there are scenarios that I have created and hopefully you can identify with one of them. So scenario one is you have been arrested, you were in the UK, have been arrested, put in detention, but you decided to leave and paid for your own ticket. Let's say that was 5 years ago. The question is, can you apply to come back to the UK? The other scenario would be you've applied for a visa extension in the UK, but you were refused. You've exhausted all your appeal rights, the judicial review proceedings, but then you're still refused, that's still dismissed, and then you've just decided, you've given up, you've decided to leave the country without notifying the Home Office, and that was 3 years ago. Can you come back to the UK? And finally, the scenario three that I have created is very common. Okay, so people come on a visitor's visa instead of leaving after 6 months, which is the validity date of visitor's visa. You've overstayed many years and then you left the country anyway because you decided UK is no longer for you, but you haven't informed the Home Office and you didn't think that the Home Office knew about your overstaying anyway. And that was 12 months ago and you now want to come back to the UK. So these are just the scenarios. Let's get some figures. Let's talk about figures. Estimated in 2007, there were about 618,000 overstayers in the UK. But really, realistically, no one knows the exact amount, the exact numbers, rather, who are in the UK. Because this is a difficult thing. You know, a lot of people just overstayed and not really informed the authorities, or overstayed hoping that they will just disappear from the system. So if you are an overstayer in the UK, don't worry, you're not the only one. There are thousands of you in the UK. But if you've decided to leave the UK and you returned to your home country, decided to think, oh well, can I come back to the UK? This is the video for you, and so we'll talk about this in the immigration rules part 9. This is boring, you don't want to know the text, but if you do, if you are a geeky person and you want to find out what exactly are the rules about overstayers. So this is part 9 are the is the meaty part of immigration rules that deals with grounds for refusal. So if you want to find out about that, you can Google it and it will take you to this web page that gives you all the details. It's quite long, but it's not that difficult to understand. So again, there are two rules that I want to look at, but I'm not going to spend time on it, and I'm not going to read it because it's boring. The first thing I want to discuss is there are two two rules that apply, and that your entry clearance um, either will be refused automatically or may be refused. Okay, so one of them, this automatic refusal, if you apply for entry clearance and you have had a past immigration history, not so not so straight, not so white. So if you overstayed in the UK and you've left the country, the same as the scenario one, let's say scenario one and two or three, you've left the country and you now want to apply for entry clearance. Now, it will be automatically refused if you do that, if the ban is still in place. So there are some period of bans that apply to you if you overstayed in the UK, and if you apply within that period, okay, if the ban has not expired, then automatically it will be refused. Now, the second one is, if you see I have highlighted, so 9.82, I have highlighted, it says entry clearance may be refused. So it's not an automatic ban, but it can still be refused. So these are the three conditions. One is you overstayed, so previous breach of immigration laws. Second one is the ban has expired. Okay, so let's say you've overstayed and you have a ban for 5 years, and it's now the sixth year, and you think, oh well, I can return to the UK, I can apply. That can still be refused even though you're outside the ban period, if you have, okay, aggravating circumstances. Now I've listed these examples of aggravating circumstances, and you can read it, but examples such as you used false identity, you failed to report, you absconded. So if you had a refusal, for example, and the Home Office gave you send you a notice to say you must report, and you just not turned up and hoped for the best, or you've completely disappeared from the system, or you reported before 2 to 3 times, and then suddenly you decided, oh, I'm not going to report anymore. So these are the aggravating circumstances. So although the Home Office may disregard the overstaying because the ban period has already expired, if you have any of these aggravating circumstances, and these are the examples, then it may still be refused. Okay, so if you watch to the end, I will tell you how you might be able to convince the Home Office about giving you a visa. Okay, so when what I've listed here, it comes from the aggravating circumstances example, comes from the rules itself, but here there's also an additional example that the Home Office listed on their guidance. So it says Home Office guidance at the top. What it is, it's a published guidance that the caseworker, meaning the person actually looking at your application and deciding whether or not to give you the visa. And what they do is they go through this guidance, which you can also read yourself if you want to, and I'll give the link if you ask for it, or I'll give the link in the description of this video. You can read and see what they actually look at when they're deciding for your when they're deciding whether or not to give you a visa. So these are the examples. Absconding, we've already discussed earlier, and it says something like, if you don't meet the reporting restrictions, bail conditions, if you have breached your visitor conditions, if you've received benefits when you know that you're not entitled, if you have used false identity or identities, if you've used the NHS when you know you're not entitled, if you've attempted to prevent removal from the UK, or you have escaped detention, if you've switched nationalities. So these are all the aggravating circumstances, and please read it. If you have any questions, let me know. Okay, so those are the examples. Now we'll be looking at, when will the overstaying be disregarded. So there are some circumstances, and it's actually within the rules, where the Home Office will just ignore your overstaying. So even though your visa has expired, and you think that, oh my goodness, this will affect my future application. Well, under this 9.85, the Home Office will disregard it if you have left the UK voluntarily, and if you overstayed before 2017 but you only overstayed less than 90 days, then that will be disregarded. Or after 2017 you overstayed but you only overstayed less than 30 days, then that's also going to be disregarded. And if you have applied within 14 days of um, of the visa expiration date. So that's what paragraph 39E is about. Now, you're asking, so I want to find out about the bans. When will I know the bans has expired? Okay, so these are uh, the the rules, and these are the dates that the dates apply for bans. So if you have left the UK voluntarily, and you've overstayed, then there's a ban of 12 months. So don't apply within 12 months because it will be automatically refused. Okay. Now, and then you have 2 years ban if you received the notice of liability of removal, but you left within 6 months of receiving that, then you're banned for 2 years. But if you received the notice of liability of removal and you left after 6 months, then the ban is 5 years. Can you see the difference? So if you are an overstayer now in the UK, and if you've received a notice of liability of removal, then think about the ban and your future application, future return to the UK. It may be a good idea to think about it carefully. But if you were deported, then there's a ban of 10 years, and I think you probably know that already in your letter. There's probably a letter that says you were deported, and there's 10 years ban, and also 10 years if you have made false representations. Now, false representations. Sorry, let's go back. False representation is something that's really serious. So we'll talk about this in 2 or 3 slides in a moment. So also the reasons why your application might be refused, and these two particularly apply also to those who are in the UK who want to switch from overstaying to I don't know, partner's visa. Okay, so these two can all lead you to refusal if you have these. So one is unpaid litigation costs, and this is where if you applied for judicial review in the past, or you let's say, I think, appeal as well. So check with your lawyer if you used a lawyer, and if there was a dismissal, if you made an application for judicial review and you were unsuccessful, most likely you had litigation costs that you need to pay to the Home Office. And if the lawyer has not advised you about this, then it's best to contact them and ask them about this particular litigation cost, because that needs to be paid. Unfortunately, if you don't pay it, you don't get the visa. And the last reason that you may be refused is the debt to the NHS. So if you have used the NHS and you've been given a bill more than £500, then you will be refused if you don't pay that debt. You should be able to show to the Home Office when you're, let's say, applying for visa, that you made arrangement to pay for this debt and that you negotiated with NHS. If you can't pay, let's say it's thousands of pounds because you had an operation or you gave birth to your child, then you need to check with the NHS and see how you can pay by installment. So we talk about you can get banned for 10 years if you lie to the Home Office and they find out. So a quick story about this is a client wanted to apply to renew his student visa, but he had a criminal conviction for indecent exposure. Okay, so he was gay, and he went to the toilet, and for some reason, I think the gay person in the toilet was also a police officer. I don't know how this happened, but this is what happened. And he was caught for indecent exposure, and he didn't go to prison, but he had a criminal record which he didn't disclose, which he didn't tell the Home Office when he renewed his visa, and they found out about it. And because that they considered it as a deception, as a false representation of his application. Then they banned him for 10 years. He was refused and he was asked to leave the country. And because of that, then there's a 10 years ban for him. Okay. So what can you do if you have one of those aggravating circumstances, and you want to return to the UK because, for example, you have a partner who has a work visa, skilled worker visa, or you want to join a family, you have a family in the UK, and your fiance or your husband is a UK citizen or a settled European who has settled status, and you want to join them. Then these are the tips for getting your application approved. So firstly, you need to offer the information. You can't just expect them to check and then find out and then refuse. It's better that you actually say in your application uh, and tell them that yes, you overstayed in the past, because there is a part in the application where asked, have you overstayed in the UK? Did you go over the visa? You need to be as accurate as possible about that. So don't mislead them, okay, thinking that they don't know about your immigration history. They know, they have everything. They can check the HMRC, they can check the Department for Work and Pensions, which is connected to your national insurance number. So what you need to do is explain it in your cover letter, explain everything, give them what they need to do, and provide them with the dates of your overstaying. If you can't remember because that was a long time ago, then give them an estimate. And be honest about it. Say, I can't remember about the dates, but this is what happened. This is around these dates. And the copy of documents, so it's easy to check, so it's easy for them to check the system. And check also that the ban has expired before applying, because if you apply within the ban period, there is absolutely no point because you will be refused and there's nothing you can do to challenge that. Okay, so and then always be forthcoming with the information when dealing with the Home Office. That's what they like about applicants. They like applicants who are upfront about information. So that's what you can do. If you have any questions, please email us or book an online consultation if you have some questions that you can't find answer, or you just want to discuss it with somebody who is experienced. I am a former immigration lawyer who's dealing with this, who's making videos about immigration. So just email to ask us a question. And if you find this video very helpful, then please share with your friends. And thanks very much for watching. This is our email address, help@doityourselfimmigration.co.uk. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this so that your immigration experience is smooth. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Recording stopped.